When did you build this mill again? What year?
1982. Yeah, 82.
And you were working in the area for different companies before that, right?
Walsh Lumber, yeah. Worked there for 36 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Sawed. Well, I did a lot of logs, working in the mill, checking pulp and logs, and then I went to sawing. I think it was 65.
Were they still, are they still in business
No.
currently? No, they went out of
They're
business.
all out of business, yeah.
Are there a lot of mills still around here, or
Not too many.
no?
Of course, like Twinlet Mill, and then Chuck Wilkins Mill, and then down in Monaga, they got the mills down in Monaga.
Okay.
Yeah. But outside of that, there ain't many mills around.
Oh. There's not the one up the road anymore then? I remember when
Yeah.
that one's still there?
Yeah, that's Chuck Wilkins. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's still got that.
What kind of process does he have compared to the one that you use?
Oh, it's all set up automatic.
Oh, okay.
It's, it's got a live belt that takes the stuff out, and then he got deals up there that he can shove up here, and it'll hit that, and then turn it off and put it on this chain here, and then if he wants one out here, he puts it on another chain, and the slabs all go out, and they go through a deal, and it cuts them all up into 16-inch wood and goes into a bucket. Then he comes along with a forklift, takes the bucket out and dumps it. And,
Wow.
yeah, but everything is automatic. I mean, his outfit.
And does he have a pretty big crew working for him then? Or?
No, he's
No?
got it all set up where he does it by himself.
Oh, he does it by himself.
He does all the levers, works all the levers back there by himself. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's pretty modern.
How many logs are you sawing now? Like in the summer, how much would you say you've been doing?
Oh, we used to saw 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
but now I don't put in over 4 hours.
Yeah. Well, by yourself and everything.
You get 86 years old,
Yeah.
you can't take it anymore.
No kidding. No kidding. So like a pile like this one, how long will it take you to do something like that? Like
Probably take me 3 hours or so.
Oh, really? You can do all that in 3 hours?
3, maybe a little longer. All depends how things go.
Uh-huh.
But that goes pretty fast.
Wow. So what made you decide to build your own mill? Like when you were working at that other company, what made you decide to build your own?
Well, I quit that outfit over there, and so I thought, well, I'll buy myself a mill and do it on my own. Do custom sawing, just custom sawing. I don't buy and sell or nothing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, if I like that pile there, the stuff that blows down around here, stuff, why I'll saw it and sell it out. But outside of that, I just do custom sawing.
And then Flossie, when you first built it, was helping you.
Yeah,
right,
she worked
the whole
back
time,
and
right?
saw, yeah, yeah, yeah. She did.
Nice.
Did a good job back there. I've had a lot of men back there that couldn't do the work she did.
Yeah?
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
So so you're saying that gas prices are just too high to have anyone help you? Is that that's the
yeah,
reason
the
that you
fuel.
can't really have any help, or?
Of course, and this one here uses more fuel than the other one did too.
Uh-huh.
And it got to a point where I'd have to work that much more, and put that much more work onto me to make his wages.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought, well, why don't I just work less and take it myself?
Yeah.
So it works out better this way because I make more. Because he was a lot of days he made more than I did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought I might as well go on my own.
Have you had a lot of people? How many people have you had like help you throughout the years? Doing?
I haven't had just Flossie, my wife helped me, and then I've had a couple other guys just come out for maybe 3 or 4 days or something, but they didn't stay. I mean, well, I didn't need them. They didn't know nothing in the first place.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell one width from the other, the pilot. But John, my grandson, he helped me after Flossie quit till up here last year. Well, this year.
John helped this year still?
Yeah, he didn't help this year. He helped all last year, but
Oh, okay.
I didn't have him come this year.
So how much are you sawing, like how often this summer? Every day, or are you sawing?
No, sometimes it's maybe a week I don't do nothing. Then maybe it's a week I saw every day, you know. Maybe I'll saw 2 weeks in a row or something. All depends on, you know, what the guys bring in. See, years ago, when I worked for my dad, he used to ride that carriage and do the setting. You did all the setting. All he did is roll the logs on and pull the lever. And you did all the dogging, holding the log, and you sit on there all day long, back and forth, back and forth.
Really, you just and it would run back and forth, and you'd pull the logs up onto it then?
Yeah, he'd put the logs on, and then I'd dog them to hold them and do the setting, to set for the lumber and stuff. Then they had a guy back of the saw that piled the lumber and took care of the slabs.
And that was you, your dad, and your brother, you said, were doing that?
I worked for my dad when I was 9 years old in the sawmill. I worked for him. Yeah.
Wow. And where was that?
Huh?
Where was that? Where you worked for your dad?
Well, that was up by Itasca Park, on this side of the Itasca Park. And they had a camp in there. And then they had a mill that they moved around. You'd take it was on wheels. Then you'd move it to different jobs.
Oh, okay.
But you used to buy timber real cheap. And we used to buy that stuff for 50 cents a cord and on a stump. Then you'd cut it and haul it into the mill. You'd saw it. We'd haul it from Itasca Park clear to Bemidji for $13 a thousand.
1,000 slabs?
1,000 feet of lumber.
Holy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How would you haul that in, like a semi or something?
It had an old 28 McCormick Deering truck with a single axle and a single axle trailer, and you could haul about maybe 1,500 feet on there. You'd haul that all the way to Bemidji for $13 a thousand. Well, you get about $17, $18 or something like that for a load.
How long would it take you to cut, like, that many feet of wood?
Well, you could have an edger back there where you could just saw it up. You didn't have to take only 2 slabs off, and then you could just saw it up. Then they'd run it through the edger. But you could saw probably 10,000 feet a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, just with the 3 of you? Or?
Just the 3 of us,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the carriage.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when in like your generations of your family, how far does it go back doing sawing and lumbering and
All my brothers was in the sawmill.
and then your dad, and then does it go like was
Back
his
to-
grandpa doing it too,
Back
or?
to his relatives, yeah. His brothers and stuff all was loggers and sawmill guys.
How about his dad?
His dad?
Yeah.
I think he was probably in the logging too. I can't just remember him very good. I don't know just what one of his brothers was a big farmer. That's about the only one though.
Oh, okay.
But he got killed in the sawdust pile. Hauling sawdust in the winter, and he dug back in where it wasn't frozen, and a hunk of sawdust come down and smashed him up against a truck and killed him.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When was that?
Oh, that's many, many years ago. I was just a kid at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know of a lot of accidents at sawmills, like where people have, been?
Oh, there's been a lot of accidents. It's gotten tangled up in the shaft on the saw shaft that comes hooks that runs it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they've got tangled up in there and whipped them around. And very few of them ever come out alive, but there's a couple of them I know of that run around there and they come out alive, but it really banged them up, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, there's
Dangerous.
one. My uncle, they call him Uncle Charlie. He isn't my uncle. He's my cousin's uncle. He lost an arm. He used to have a chain. You remember when I had that chain? Well, it run by a belt down the pit, and he got in there. The belt was off, and put the thing on, and it caught him, and jerked his arm right off.
Like pulled it off?
Yeah, pulled it right off. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, there's a lot of things can happen. Because everybody says to you, as long as I've been in this, they said, how come you got all your fingers yet? You know, a lot of people lost their fingers and stuff like that. It's dangerous. You got to give it respect.
Well, as sure as I'm a sinner, before I get much thinner, I'll take a job driving stage for Uncle Sam. And regardless of the weather, I'll put on my patent leather, so people won't know how poor I am. But we're up and we're away before the light of day. From rapids to reservations, we'll get to our destination. 40 miles down the track, in the town of Hackensack, where the ladies 40 fat and fair. She's got pretty daughters 3, and they're as hot as they can be, so my hands are always cold when I get there. We're up and we're away before the light of day. Rapids to reservations, we'll get to our destination. Beads and lace for ladies, blankets for the babies, flour from roller mills, fiddle strings, butter, and in the dusk light we can see the town of Old Bemidji and the townsfolk gathering out in the snow. They want tobacco, soap and tea and jugs of Jubilee, but there's no time here to drink, we have to go. We're up and we're away before the light of day. Rapids to reservations, we'll get to our destination. We'll get to our destination. We'll get to our destination.
So have you ever had to like replace like the roof, or is that all the original stuff, all the beams and everything?
Yeah, it's been there ever since 1982. The whole thing, just like it is.
Wow.
When it falls down, I'll quit.
You haven't hunted for 4 years, huh? Just haven't wanted to,
What
or
do I do with it?
oh, with the meat and stuff?
Yeah. Just laid there and I never ate it all. Finally give it to a guy for bear bait. At the end,
Mm-hmm.
it's all, it's no good. If it stayed in the freezer all that time with cripes, it's no good.
Oh yeah, it's true.
It all gets freezer burnt and good at all.
Gets worthless after a while.
Yeah.
How many years did you hunt for?
Huh?
How many years did you hunt for? You were hunting since you were a little kid, huh?
Ever since I was about 12 years old.
Really?
So here 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Fished and hunted. Yeah. When I was born, well, after I was born, I had 17 convulsions, one after another. And he had a dog, a shepherd dog, and he had a sled. He took that and went and picked up the doctor. It was in the winter time. It was in December, lots of snow. He went and picked up the doctor and brought him in. I don't know how many miles it was, quite a ways anyway. But that's what happened to me when I was born. I weighed over 12 pounds when I was born.
12 pounds. How tall were you? Do you know?
The length of me?
Yeah.
I don't have any idea, but
12
that was a lot of weight. I didn't grow too much.
How tall are you now?
Oh, about 5'3", 4".
You were like half the size when you were born.
Yeah, right.
How many siblings do you have?
How many?
Yeah.
There's 9 of us altogether.
And you all grew up in Minnesota?
Yeah, yeah.
What part?
Oh, pretty much right around Park Rapids. Yeah. Between here and Lake George.
Where do you sit in, like, from youngest to oldest?
I'm next to the last one.
Oh,
A
okay.
girl younger than I am.
Oh, okay.
You just made your own toys and played. You'd have a stick with a cross on the bottom. Maybe you'd have a little iron wheel or something. You'd run around and push that thing in day after day. Yeah. You didn't have no toys. You didn't have no money. I was an engineer. Build railroads or build bridges, stuff like that. Airports.
Where were you located for?
Oh Jesus, we was all over. We was in Philippines, and we was in France, and we was in Germany, and we was all over. We was all over the place. Wherever they needed us, that's where we went.
So you never had
But I
to...
wound up in France when the war ended.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was when the war ended, in France.
You never had to, like, fight, or were you...
Never got in a regular fighting zone. I was there, was going to, and then in 45, that's when it ended.
It all ended, and you were in France.
Yeah.
What did you do, like, how did you hear about the news when the war ended?
Well, they broadcasted it out. And then there was a lot of German snipers in the mountains around there. We had to go and gather them up and stuff. And that was because they never knew the war was over. They were still fighting, you know.
Oh, they were still sniping people when you were...
Yeah, when we went to get them, you know. They never knew it was over.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you...
It was dangerous enough. I mean, it's like being in the war, but...
Yeah. So you chose to join the military then, or back...
I was drafted.
You were drafted?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I worked for Borgadine and Bagley, run a sawmill for him. And I was deferred, and I didn't know it when I quit. And then he no longer had me deferred, and then I went to service. I didn't even know he had me deferred.
Wow. So when did you actually come home after the war ended and you were in France and all that stuff? How long did it take for you to actually come back to Minnesota?
Oh, it didn't take long. I think I was got my discharge in Wisconsin, and then we come from there and come home.
And what year? That was in 45 then when
46.
you got home? Oh, you got home in 46?
Yeah. I had 2 years. I worked for him. I was working in the woods at that time, just checking, running, making strips for him to cut, then checking the pulp and logs and stuff at first, and then in '56, when I went to sawing in the sawmill, we had I sawed there till, well, I sawed there till '82, but he sold out in '72, I think it was. Then I worked for his son-in-law till '82.
Oh, okay. So, how many grandchildren and children and stuff do you have altogether?
I got 2 children, a boy and a girl. And I got 9 grandchildren and 13 great-grandchildren.
13?
Yeah. Unlucky number, but I guess it turned out all right. I could be a great-great-grandkind because Janet's got a boy, he must be 25.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Does she have a significant other?
Hmm?
Janet's son? Does he have a girlfriend?
I don't know if he does or not.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any idea.
When did you meet Flossie?
Oh, I was in 38, about 38, 39, when her mother took over the Welcome Inn, the beer joint. That's when I got acquainted with her.
At the Welcome Inn?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when she took it over, and then you just met her. Like, was she working there, or you just met her in there?
She wasn't old enough to serve beer and stuff yet, but she worked around, helped her mother
Oh,
there
okay.
until she got older. She got older enough, but she started working. But she's 38, and she was born in 21, so she was 17, so she couldn't be till she was 21, I guess, or 18, whatever a woman, girl had to be.
Uh-huh. And then, so what did, like, on a Friday or Saturday night in Park Rapids, what did people do?
Always went to a dance.
Yeah?
Went to a dance and had a few drinks and danced up a storm and
What kind of, like,
get
was it?
into a few fights. And
Yeah. Like those few fist fights and
few
stuff?
fist fights.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we used to do that a lot.
Was there live music and stuff too
Yeah,
then?
yeah.
Yeah.
Live music. And then if there wasn't some place that had a phonograph deal for records, you know,
Uh-huh.
we used to dance to them too. Another Welcome Inn, that's what we used to dance there all the time to them.
Oh, okay.
Jukebox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of bands came through? Like, was there any bigger acts that you remember? Like,
Well, I don't know, just local bands that was around here, and they played to all these. There was 4 or 5 places here, dance halls that they could go to play in. You know.
so it was a lot of just dancing.
They all had names. The one out here in the point that was called the Bloody Bucket.
The Bloody Bucket was the name of
And
it?
it was always fight all the time.
And they named it before they opened it. And then there was just fights all the time, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, every time they had a dance, it was all. So they always called it the Bloody Bucket.
What other places did they have other than
Well,
the
they had
Bloody
the White
Bucket?
City Resort. The old boxer. He fought Jack Dempsey. He fought
Okay.
him. He said I would have did pretty good, but he said he didn't wait for me to get up out of the chair hardly. He smacked him and knocked him out right away.
Wow.
He used to have a dance hall,
Oh, okay.
and he was a boxer. And that was during the CC time.
Uh-huh.
The CCs used to come there and just raise heck. He says I never hit him, I just slapped him.
So were there like back in the day this was what, the 30s and 40s then that would be?
Yeah, late 30s and early 40s.
Okay. So like what were Like, what were you listening to for, like, music and stuff? Like, do you remember any of the artists you listened to or anything?
All Western, but they're all Western music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All country?
all country Western, yeah, but they're all of it. There, they'd have some place of classic music, but
Mm-hmm.
I never went to them kind of places.
Yeah. Just country dance party kind of thing, huh?
Yeah.
And then you were saying that you also had a muscle car. When did you have that? The muscle car that you were talking about earlier tonight?
Oh, that was back, God. That's right after we was married. Yeah, we had Dean, you know. Yeah, we had him. Oh, it must have been in... Well, I went in this service for 2 years. I had it before then. I must have had it in 44, or 43. Because I went in the service in 44. I must have had it back in... Right after we was married, right after Dean was born, I think, 42, I must have had that.
And then you
Because
get
our driveway used to be here. We never had that one. It was all over here. That's where we used to park.
by the garden?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Well, it was on this side of the trees. We didn't have trees or nothing in there then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you were saying that you used to race and stuff too with the was that like right downtown or was that
Oh, you get out a ways out of town where the cops wasn't around.
yeah.
Then you line up and race.
What'd you guys race
There
for? Did
wasn't
you
much of a roads then either, really. the
Oh,
racing,
yeah.
You know.
What'd you guys race for? Did you race for like
Just-
money
Just-
or anything?
Just
or-
to race. Just
Oh,
to
just
have
to
the
race?
best, fastest car. It wasn't for money or nothing. Just who had the fastest car.
Did you win a lot?
Well, I could beat him on the takeoff, but when it got up to 100 miles an hour, as fast as I could go, and someone would be able to go probably a couple miles an hour faster. But if it wasn't long enough, I could beat him.
So when did like the dance clubs and stuff you guys went to? So they just kind of started closing down after a while, or
Oh yeah, a lot of them went out of business entirely.
Yeah.
Later years, there wasn't nothing hardly.
is there any stuff around town here that was around since you've been a kid or anything? Is there still any businesses or anything like that that's been around
There's a lot of businesses around. There's a lot of places you have to go in.
that were around when you were a kid?
Yeah, the buildings and stuff, but it changed hands into different things. you
Yeah.
know.
Is there anything that is still open that is the same like
Wimpy's,
Wimpy's?
that's the main, that building's the only one I think that's still open that hasn't never did nothing to the building.
It's always been Wimpy's.
Always been Wimpy's.
And when did that open?
Oh, God, before my times, I think. I
Oh,
can't
really?
remember it when I was way back. I
Like
can't
even
remember
before
some of the things that was in there even.
even before you were born and everything, you think, or
Well, I might have been born, but I was never went there or nothing, you know. It could have been there at the time, but
mm-hmm.
back then the kids never got to go to town, nothing, you know.
Oh yeah.
You stayed home and worked. You never got to go to town.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about Prohibition in this area? What
In
happened?
the 30s,
Yeah.
it was tough, really tough going.
Was it?
Really tough going. I worked for my cousin, Clifford Kimball. They had a cooking camp. A woman, her husband, he worked there too, but she did the cooking. And we'd have pancakes 3 times a day. Nothing. You couldn't, just hard to get anything to eat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's
Wages was nothing. Just absolutely nothing.
what were you making?
If you'd get 20 cents an hour, that was top wages. Yeah.
For any kind of job, or for just like
Well,
that?
for like logging and mill work and
Uh-huh.
paper work and stuff like that we would do. Yeah.
Wow. And then you were talking about a logging camp that you stayed in. Where was that at?
That was, well, it was up in on 113 up on this side of the park.
Okay.
And we had nothing but, we made our bunks. They furnished a shack. Then we made our bunks out of boards and stuff, and we just put hay in for a mattress. That's what we slept on.
Did you have blankets or
We
anything?
had
Or
blankets, but that's what we slept on was that hay.
in the
When it get
winter
all
too?
laid there long enough where there was nothing left, you redid it, put new hay in.
And was this in the winter and summer?
Oh
and
yeah, winter and summer. Stayed in them old tar paper shacks, no insulation, no nothing. Yeah.
How many people stayed in one of the shacks?
Oh, sometimes. Well, that one shack we had up by Tulpe Lake up in on 113, there was 125 guys. That was a big logging
Wow.
camp, yeah.
And what year was this? This was.
Oh, I was just a young punk, about 18 years old then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that was right around the Depression time
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, right in there. Well, the 30s was really the bad
Yeah.
time, but
Right
them
before.
was bad days back then too. You never had nothing.
Oh,
You never
okay.
made anything. Never got no place.
What were your folks doing at that time?
Dad was a logger. Well, we did some farming too up by Lake Dallas.
Uh huh.
He had a bunch of cattle, not farming, but he had a bunch of cattle and stuff.
Okay.
Then they all got this, what they call the bang disease. And he sold a whole 13 head for $90. 13 head.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the bang disease?
You know, they had dropped their calves real early, and then it got into the milk, I guess, and stuff, and the calves would never live. They'd come deformed and all this stuff.
Wow.
They could get shots for them, I guess. They caught it in time. You could get bang disease shots, but never had the money to get it anyways,
Yeah.
you know. And the hay we had to put up was out these old bogs, were the big old bogs, and cut it with a scythe. Then they'd rake it up. Well, when he'd scythe it, it'd all come in a windrow. Then us kids would go out there and rake it up and put it in shocks. Then we had 2 poles about that big around, peeled, and probably 8-10 feet long. And we'd slide that in under the shocks and carry it over and stack it. Carry all these deals that we piled it up. Carried over, and then we'd stack it, make big stacks of hay out there in the bogs. Then in the winter, go out there and try to get it off. Oh, God,
Wow.
what a life.
I was also wondering, where did you get your tattoo?
In the service.
In the service?
Yeah.
What is it?
It
Oh.
was supposed to be an eagle, but part of it all faded out and never did nothing.
You got that like in the United States or in a different country
In
or
the States.
in the States?
Yeah.
Just decided to do it when you were in the service?
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody was getting them then, and so I just got one too.
And that's the only one you have?
That's the only one I got.
Yeah.
I wish I had never got that one either.
Yeah. So you did hunting and fishing and all that stuff. You did that your whole life, right?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah.
What'd you hunt? Because I know you hunted like deer and stuff. Did you hunt
Deer
other
hunting,
things?
bear hunting.
You did bear too?
Yeah, I never, very seldom ever went bear hunting. No. My brothers and stuff used to go, but I never did go. Yeah, I used to deer hunt all the time. Shot some big deer.
What's the biggest you ever got, you think?
Oh, weighed, dressed out, it weighed 240 pounds.
Wow.
It was 12 points. Big, big horns. Big, huge. Yeah.
Well, where'd you shoot that? On your land here?
No, shot that up by the park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So did you do a lot of like the hunting, and even when you were a kid, did you do it for like food and that kind of stuff? Was a lot of
Yeah. We used to have cattle. I always used to take the 20 gauge shotgun when I'd go out after cattle. Then they'd just turn them loose. They'd just go wherever they wanted to go. Then you come home at night from school, and then you try to find them goddamn cows. You'd go for miles. Sometimes it'd be pitch dark. You'd finally hear the bell dinging someplace. There they'd be laying down, and she'd be swatting the flies, and you'd get that dingle every once in a while, you know. And hell, a lot of times I was lost, didn't know where I was at, and it was dark. There used to be a calf, bull calf. I used to ride that thing. And that night it was dark, and I went to get on that calf, and it wouldn't let me on. It just started pawing the ground. Well, I wouldn't get on that thing, you know. So I got them up, and I followed them home. Otherwise, I wouldn't even know where the hell I was at.
So you followed the cows
I
home?
followed the cows home. They knew where to go. Yeah. I got them
Wow.
up and got them started, and I just followed them. Yeah.
Wow. And then you said you shot them with the...
A 410,
Uh-huh.
410 or a 20 gauge. I used to take that along. I used to shoot deer out when I'd go after the cattle. Yeah. Yeah, Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it was part of the living. Used to have them great big snowshoes, they used to call them, big rabbits. We used to snare them all the time. That's what we eat for meat, a lot of meat.
The rabbits?
Oh, a lot of meat on them. Then it got where they got them big old boils and blisters on them. You'd skin them, there'd be a great big old sore boil and stuff, so couldn't eat them anymore. Yeah.
What'd you usually fish for when you went out? Anything particular?
Fish pole.
What'd you usually fish for when you went fishing?
Oh, most
usually?
of it we fished for northerns. That was the easiest to catch.
Oh, okay.
You know, they'd bite on putting or anything, it seemed like. Yeah.
What's the biggest northern you ever caught? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it was around 24 pounds.
24 pounds?
Yeah. Dean's got one over in his workshop, I think it was 25. He speared that one. Yeah. Yeah.
How did you catch the 24 pounder?
I caught it on hook and line. It took me for an hour to get that thing in, too.
Didn't break the line, huh?
No, I had a heavy line on. Always used a real heavy line. No, I never broke it, but boy, it was tough getting in. Man, you'd get him all the way up there, and then he would take off. That old wee. Yeah.
What lake did you
You
catch?
didn't dare set it up too tight because you'd break your line, you know.
Uh-huh.
So you had to give it slack. Yeah, that was a big, big fish.
What lake did you catch it on?
Hell, Portage, I think.
Oh, okay.
From Portage, Lake.
And that's just
That's
right up the
over
road
just
here,
a
right?
little ways, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of big fishing out there. We really got fished out, though.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Is that how a lot of lakes are in the area? They've
It
gotten...
used to be just like a little town out there, so many houses in the winter.
Wow.
Just fished it to death. Yeah. I think it's probably come back now. I mean, somebody said that it's pretty good there again.
Really?
Yeah. But it smothers out. If it gets real cold weather and no snow, darn thing smothers out too.
Mm. How does that, like, what does that do then?
Well, there's a lot of springs and they all head for these spring holes and they just smother. They just don't get enough oxygen. You know?
Oh.
They just belly up.
And then when it unthaws, it's all just...
Yeah, they all just float towards the highway there, and there's a dam there at the highway where it goes over into Fishhook.
Mm.
And there they all are floating out in that dam there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's just because, so when it freezes over, they can't
No
get up
oxygen.
to the... Yeah.
Yeah, no. Okay.
You have to take those to a picnic.
Well,
Because our family has so many picnics.
what kind of bread is that? Huh?
Oh,
Baked fresh all day.
We like it. We get it down.
French bread, French. Oven fresh French. Baguette or baguette bread? What the hell is it?
Baguette.
Huh?
Baguette.
Baguette.
Yeah.
Oh, right there, Clifford, is where it was. Because no, the bolts are here. You bring the door down, bring the window down. There you go. Yep. All the way down. We can move it over this way a little. No, we can't. No, we can't. Remember, you had to put some foam in there.
Yeah, we have to put some shims in there.
Yep. Yeah, but you're good. It's here. You ain't moving.
Be right about where it was.
Yep, it is. It is, Cliff. Bring it up. Okay.
Okay, isn't it?
That's it.
That'll be fun.
Square.
Okay.
Yep. Perfect.
I'll get a screw so I can fasten this over against there. We used to follow these sawmills around.
Oh,
They had a
okay.
shack that you could take down and put together, and they moved around different jobs. We'd just take them down in sacks, and then we'd put the floor up and put the sides up, and we stayed in these tar-papered shacks. Cold here and heck in the winter. We used to bank it way up all the way around with sawdust. And you get it hot inside the shack, and the turpentine smell from the sawdust would put near choke you inside.
Jeez.
Yeah, have an airtight stove, and you have to get up 2 or 3 times a night and put wood in. If you didn't, the dipper would be frozen, the bucket, the water in the house.
What was it like in Park Rapids, like back then, like downtown and stuff? I mean, it was.
Yeah, it was just, it's changed so much you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Some of the old buildings are still there as far as that goes.
How about Wimpy's?
Like Wimpy's, that's been there forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What year did Wimpy's go in, you think?
Huh?
What year do you think Wimpy's went in?
Oh God, I don't know. It was before I knew anything about it, even. They just had a back room there, and the ceiling was coming down inside, and they tore it apart. And it was all insulated with shavings.
Wow.
And then there
That
used
is
to be
old.
a stove in the back there where you go to the bathroom. There used to be they must have had a heater in there. It was all burnt charcoal, burnt where it caught a fire at one time.
Jeez.
In the building, their wall is hooked right to the wall in the next building. That's a brick building, and their wall is hooked right to that wall.
Wow.
Otherwise, the wall would probably be falling down.
That's crazy.
It changed hands many, many, many times. Yeah. Yeah, this old tree here, it needs a spraying or something because it's all the nuts are falling off, it's drying up and falling off. Cell, Havenson Heater, what the hell that is. Great Northern, calling from the Great Northern. 732-956.
One of those people you have lunch with or breakfast
I'll play it
with?
again, see if you can get her name.
Okay.
You have one old message.
Hi, Cliff. It's Diane from Minnesotan. I was just checking to see if you're
Diane.
okay. I didn't see you today.
Diane.
Why don't you call the restaurant and let me know you're okay? 732-9565. Talk to you later in 5.
Why would she not think you're okay?
Saturday, 8:33
I don't
a.m.
know.
Smell the coffee brewing slow. Smell the smoke from the wood stove. Smell the sawdust and gasoline. as your warm breath turns to steam. A flannel shirt and a pair of jeans. Old work boots seen better days. That John Deere cap sure is old, but it's got class and it's got soul. The unsung hero, the working man. Hold your head up high where you stand. The unsung hero, the working man. Hold your head up high where you stand. Working man. Sweaty comes in the summertime. Raspberries plump along the vine. When the snow is 10 feet high, just makes it harder to get by. The unsung hero, the working man. Hold your head up high where you stand. The unsung hero, the working man. Hold your head up high where you stand. Working man. When you look in the mirror, when you get up to shave, do you read the lines that honest work has written on your face? On your face, on your face, on your face. Made your life with your hands. You made your life working the land. You may not think I understand, but I believe in the working man. The unsung hero, the working man. Hold your head up high where you stand. The unsung hero, the working man. Hold your head up high where you stand. Hold your head up high where you stand. Hold your head up high where you stand. Working